we have another club for people. And this is a club you don't want to be a part of, but in order to talk about that club, we have to play the appropriate music.
Stop! Hammer time!
Oh, yeah, it's hammer time. We've been waiting for this. It's time to drop the hammer on the douchebag of the week, and we've got two winners. Whenever we've got two winners, we also got to play this.
The double douche.
The double douche. Ladies and gentlemen, Wade Garrett. Exactly right.
Moment we've been waiting for. A little drum roll in the background, please.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? I should pull that up. I'm pretty sure I got a drum roll in this thing here. Oh, yeah. Actually, I do. Let's go ahead. Winner number one for this week is Michigan Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey.
Da-da-da.
Ta-da, yeah. Oh, I've got that effect, too. I totally forgot about that. Good
One
Lord.
more time. Who is that man?
Yeah, Mike Shirkey.
Perfect.
There you go.
Making the layout, we're right on.
Yeah, Mike Shirkey makes me puke, so there. Oh, I've been waiting to get him, too. So here's the first winner, Craig Mauger, writing for the Detroit News. This was dated Thursday, November 21st, out of Lansing. Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey reportedly told a group of college Republicans that Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Democratic lawmakers are, quote, on the bat crazy spectrum, end of quote. Shirkey, Republican of R-Clarklake, made the comments at an event earlier this month hosted by the Hillsdale College Republicans, according to a report from the Hillsdale Collegian, the school's newspaper. The remarks, which were published Thursday, drew immediate backlash from Democrats. Whitmer's communications director, Zach Pohl, said, quote, it seems clear that women in power make the Senate Majority Leader very uncomfortable, end of quote. And I need to stop there to mention that Zach Pohl has been a former guest on this show, but it's been a number of years, so I want to disclose that right now. Senator Mallory McMorrow, Democrat of Royal Oak, posted on social media that Shirkey's comments were, quote, repulsive and flagrantly disrespectful, end of quote. Shirkey quickly apologized for the outburst, but it wasn't Shirkey that actually did the apologizing. It was his spokeswoman, Amber McCann, who said this, quote, it was a flippant remark and a poor choice of words. Senator Shirkey regrets the characterization, end of quote. Flippant.
Bad crazy.
Yeah.
That's flippant.
That's very flippant, apparently. I don't know.
No, it's not flippant. It was rehearsed.
Let me continue. Shirkey's remarks at Hillsdale, a conservative liberal arts college, come as Whitmer and the GOP legislative leaders try to find a solution to a budget standoff that's left students, nonprofit groups, sheriff's departments, and rural hospitals waiting on state funding. Whitmer made nearly $1 billion in vetoes at the end of September to budget bills approved by the GOP-controlled legislature. Her administration said the budget bills didn't do enough to fund roads, communities, and schools, and hoped the vetoes would draw Republican lawmakers back to the negotiating table. Instead, the vetoes and another $625 million in administrative transfers within the legislature's approved departmental budgets have set off a debate over the powers of the governor's office. Also during the Hillsdale event, according to the Hillsdale Collegian, Shirkey said this, quote, my governor has the two Democratic caucuses fairly locked up. They sit around and wait for her to call them and tell them to do this or do that. End of quote. Senate Minority Leader Jim Ananich, Democrat of Flint, said he was offended and disappointed by Shirkey's remarks. Here's what he had to say. Quote, Senator Shirkey's comments indicate that he has zero interest in righting wrongs and working together to move our state forward, and I find that very unfortunate. There is a lot of work to do, and I will continue working with anyone who is willing to deliver results for the people of Michigan. End of quote. McMorrow added that she's introduced 12 bills so far. Here's what she added on social media. Quote, I've reached out to colleagues to ask them to collaborate on bipartisan ideas and have been rebuked. None of us are sitting around waiting for anything. We're trying to do our jobs. End of quote.
I know we've got another winner for the douchebag. Before we continue on this, I want to mention that this emanated from the cesspool called Hillsdale College, the conservative cesspool. Now, you're going to wonder why I would use that labeling. Mm-hmm. First of all, the college itself, the newspaper that you quoted?
Yes, the Hillsdale Collegian.
The Hillsdale Collegian. I think it was the Hillsdale Collegian that completely refused the story of the century on Michigan colleges in Michigan. You know what that was?
What?
The president of Hillsdale College was having sex with his son's wife.
Oh, lovely.
You never heard about that?
No.
There's books about it.
Yeah.
They didn't. The Collegian didn't cover it. We're talking about Limbaugh and Hannity's choice school, the college on a hill, for months had a scandal like no other college in the history of Michigan. The president was doing his son's wife. Mm-hmm. Then there was a suicide. It is, you couldn't write a juicier story. So whenever you tell me Hillsdale is just a liberal arts college, it's home. We talk about Michigan State being the home of the worst sex scandal now in collegiate history. Yeah. And that's an accurate description.
Yeah.
Well, Hillsdale College is home of the juiciest, most corrupt, higher-level president scandal in Michigan college history. Amen. And nobody knows it.
Yep. And I want to get to winner number 2, and this is going to stir both of us up here. Probably going to have to do a lot of bleeping for this last little bit of the show.
Already stirred.
Winner number 2 is 3rd Congressional District Chair for the Michigan Democratic Party, Jeff Winston. I've been waiting to kick this son of a bitch for 4 years. I've got this. Eon Higgins, staff writer for Common Dreams. This is dated Thursday, November 21st. In an over-the-top, in-your-face moment on Wednesday night before the Democratic debate in Atlanta, a Michigan supporter of 2020 Democratic presidential primary candidate Senator Bernie Sanders was blocked from television cameras as a more conservative voter was being interviewed. The video, which was captured by activist Devon Lamoureux, shows an NBC News reporter interviewing a voter concerned over so-called fiscal responsibility as a woman in the background holding a sign supporting Sanders is acrobatically blocked by a large man. That large man, Jeff Winston.
That large man who specializes in pushing around little women.
And bullying.
And his establishment hack buddy named Brandon Dillon, who tore the microphone out of a 90-pound woman at the convention in Philadelphia.
Which we talked about on this show.
Which we covered extensively. These guys are big bullies and bouncers for the party with little women.
Yep.
With little women.
And by the way, the woman holding the sign is one of our listeners, Mimi Graziano.
One of our friends.
Yes.
A retired school teacher. I got this from another friend, Jimmy Thomas. It was clear that Jeff Winston bullied a retired teacher who was simply trying to support Bernie Sanders. What is funny is while Jeff was bullying and harassing a retired teacher, MSNBC was interviewing a lifelong Republican at a Michigan Democratic watch party. That's crazy enough, right?
Yep.
So you had two sins going on simultaneous. You had the 240-pound fat ass blocking the sign that said, and I want to be very specific about this, it listed the fact that Michigan gave its support with delegates 100% to the person who lost the state.
Let me read the sign. Bernie won Michigan's 73 counties, Kent County by 25%. That's all the sign said.
I called radio.
Yeah.
Back in 2016. I said, wait a second, because they had on who's the other guy? Skaggs or whatever his name is, another Democratic Party operative. I said, let's just look at the sheer facts. You took the candidate who lost the state. The superdelegates backed that candidate. They can't handle this. Winston and his cronies, they can't allow that to be seen.
No.
So you get up and you block this woman's sign. And then you attack her as a Green Party card carrier. I know the woman. She's not. She's a progressive. She's a progressive who would love to see a change in the heart of the Democratic Party. and they completely erased her voice. That's their tactic.
Exactly. Here's what Lamoureux said. Quote, MSNBC 20 minutes before the debate are talking to voters, and the woman says mostly people interested in Biden and Buttigieg. But as you can see, there were a lot of Bernie supporters behind them. If we win, they can't act like we don't exist. Never give up. End of quote. Right there it is, folks.
It hasn't changed a bit, has it? Dylan took the microphone, went at a breakfast for the delegates, which there were a number for Bernie. They weren't going to let him speak. Lisa's tried to talk, and big Brandon comes over and takes it from her hand. Now, that is what you're seeing again. That's how they operate.
Let me just tell this story. This happened in late 2015. This was right after Bernie had his van access taken away from him, the voter registry, because they said that he violated the campaign rules by looking at Clinton's voter list. The problem was it was a glitch that had been reported multiple times by the Sanders campaign, and it was never corrected until this made the news. So Jeff Winston starts arguing with me on Facebook, then starts texting me, because we were friends at one point, and is bullying me and is gaslighting me and calling me a kindergartner to the point that I called Brandon Dillon on a cell phone and said, here's the deal. You better get Winston to back off, or I will never put another Democrat on the radio station ever again. Then Winston decides, oh, you need to, you're just a little whiny panty waist or whatever. No, I'm sick of bullies, you son of a bitch.
We saw the footage an activist filmed. Here's this woman with a sign, and here comes this big wide body to block. And then what he does, she moves a sign to the right, and it's like a dance. He moves to the right, then back to the left, and they're swaying back and forth as he's attempting to bully this woman and harass this woman.
The video's up on our official Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/Southpaws Radio Show. So, to Mike Shirkey for being a smug jerk and to Jeff Winston for being a bully, we've got this message for you.
Don't be a douchebag.
There you go. You want to try me again, Jeff? Want to try me? Don't be a douchebag.
You know what?
I'm fired up, and I really don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care how much trouble I get in over this. I don't care how many stations we get kicked off of. I don't care how much criticism we get from the Democratic Party. Don't care.
We should have started this show with it, because I could have gone for an hour. I'm just wound up on it. And there's many other things we could say later time, folks.
Yep. Actually, we will be back next week for a very special edition of Southpaws. I'm Darren Gibson.
I am Jack Prince.
Support independent media.
The stations that carry Southpaws do not necessarily share the opinions expressed on the show. Southpaws is protected by the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution and is copyrighted by Big D Entertainment. All rights reserved.